are very, very pleased to welcome this morning amongst us a group, wonderful group of Orthodox college students representing the OCF, Orthodox Christian Fellowship, from the University of Connecticut, commonly called UCONN. So our UCONN Orthodox students are here today, and we're going to hear from one of them. And later on, our coffee hour will be given by them to honor you. We should be honoring them, but they're going to be honoring you. And that'll be our coffee hour after services. So this morning, I want to introduce Edward Ryan, who's going to be speaking on behalf of the college students. Edward just graduated from UCONN, I understand, and he's going back for his graduate studies. So please come forward here if you would.
Good morning, everyone. That I was asked to come up with a few things just to sort of explain what OCF does. That, as sort of just a general description, yes, we're a group of college students and often people from the surrounding area who are looking to get together and explore the Orthodox faith a little bit more. Now, this could take a bunch of different forms. Some of it could be people who have just grown up in Orthodox church all their life, being able to talk with clergy, talk to their peers, be able to pose questions, ask difficult questions, and deal with complex subjects in a way that they don't have to feel that if they make a mistake or if they've misinterpreted something at some point, that they're going to be met with any sort of judgment or any sort of problems. It's a way to sort of, in a hazard-free environment, really explore that. Now, for me, it was a little different. I actually came to UCONN. I knew basically nothing about Orthodoxy at all. And for me, that was something that's like, okay, it started off just hearing about a few friends who were there. It's like, hey, show up to the meetings. Okay, I did, and 4 years later, I ended up converting. Now, it again provided a means for me, at least, to go see something I never saw before, and I made a lot of mistakes. I made a lot of, I've made a lot of misinterpretations. I had grown up in a congregational church, and just I'm looking at two very, very different ends of the spectrum. So that I was incredibly confused, and every time I would walk into church on Sundays, I'd be like, okay, I have no idea what's going on, somebody help me. But it got easier and easier as it went on, and that for myself, for the other people in the our OCF chapter, we're really able to, as a whole, just expand on what we know. We grow friendships with people that we feel that we can really rely on, people who share our values. And at least for me, it's gotten me through some of the hardest times I've had in college. I've had a lot of issues with them. I've had surgeries done, things like that. Also, there's a lot of talk that we have about sort of just temptations on college, things to sort of follow that little herd mentality, do some stuff that would go against a lot of our Christian values, and that we have people that we can go spend time with, have a lot of fun with, and still maintain those as we're making our way through a challenging and very big transformation in all of our lives. So that's really all I have about to say.
You're not done yet. How about some questions? John?
How do you guys relate to other campuses? If so, how do you do that?
Okay, the way OCF works is that generally there's a setup to try and have a chapter at individual universities. In some cases, especially if there's a really small Orthodox population at one, a large one at another, people will travel. For a little while, a university near us, Eastern Connecticut State University, we had people coming up from there. We also just have, again, people from the community going around. Now, this is separated out into regions, and that there's actually a student advisory board, which at least Zaina and Tashi here both, well, Zaina was a part of until she graduated. Tashi is still a part of, that helps sort of oversee things, be able to allow chapters to communicate with each other, There's events done on a regional level. Specifically, college conference occurs in the winter. That's I'd say probably one of, if not the largest event they're trying to accommodate for that. But it does focus, I'll say, a bit more on a chapter by chapter level, because it's sort of forming to the needs of the community and to the students who are a part of it. Yes.
How many members do you have in your group?
In our group right now, we actually just, we're down to probably, I'll say, about 5 active members right now. That we had a really, really large graduating class 2 years ago where we had like about 11 students graduate, some very active, some not so active, but still that we've, the largest I think I've seen us get was about 20. We're down to about 5 now, and then we're looking to grow again. It changes as time goes through.
You just said you had a membership of 5 people. What do you do to try and drum up interest, recruit, try and spread the word, or try and get people to not really kind of stigmatize themselves being with the religious college club?
Yeah, that it's an interesting approach. For some groups that you'll see, we have, at least for UCONN, it's a very, very large university. We have numerous different religious groups for all different sorts. That some of them are very active, walking around saying, "Hey, come to our meetings. Hey, come to our meetings." For us, at least, we try and do it more of as a we have the information available. If we know that there are people we hear about either through the churches in the area, there's at least for Connecticut, a lot of the priests talk to each other. We hear it's like, okay, so-and-so is going to be a freshman next year. Let's talk to them and see if they come. But I think our biggest thing, and also in some ways our biggest challenge, is that we try not to, we don't want to pressure people into coming ever, because showing up because you feel you have to kind of defeats the purpose of all of it. So it's getting people interested, whether they're Orthodox or not. It's like, hey, you want to come? Great, come to our meetings, we'll talk, generally we'll have coffee, something, and be able to learn. If people are interested, we keep being able to provide them with accessibility to church, accessibility to other functions, so that they can basically make OCF what they want it to be.
How connected was your family to your conversion?
I actually have, well, technically I have 3 Orthodox relatives, one being the mother of the 2 children, but that my family has always been very supportive of just that they want me to have a spiritual life, whether I was Protestant, Catholic, Orthodox, it didn't matter, just they wanted some sort of spiritual life for me, and that I was able to choose what I felt was right for me. And so really it just supports what you feel is right is what you do, and so it really went from there. Yes?
How do you fund yourself?
We fund ourselves, it's largely through donations. That we do coffee hours at a variety of different churches and try and spread the information about what we do, how and why we do it, and really it's pretty much entirely donation driven.
Edward, I want to thank you so much. That was most of the right name. And we pray that God will bless your group and that in the fall you'll have 10.